Hey, all, welcome to the GI Justin channel. I've got another big old story to talk about with you guys today. It's something that I think we really need to be paying close attention to, something I've touched into on a couple episodes already, and something that I think with this new word that we have coming out of Washington and from some of our allies is something we really need to be focusing on and asking our elected officials about, because literally the fate of our country is at risk depending on how they choose to operate moving forward. So basically what's happened is a retired Navy commander named Kirk Lippold called on the Biden administration to project strength after China did these massive military exercises in the Straits of Taiwan and near the Taiwan border. I mean, they had ships out there firing live ordnance. They had some missiles that flew through Taiwanese airspace. They put Taiwan on high alert, and they showed a massive projection of strength, saying, "Hey, at some point, we're going to probably make some moves on Taiwan here, and here's what we're going to bring to party with, and you guys can't do anything about it." And unfortunately, according to the estimates we're seeing, they may not be wrong. The basically the foreign minister of Taiwan issued a big time warning to us and the rest of the world about these military drills coming very close to Taiwan, saying that any accident would spark an uncontrollable war, causing all the other countries who are involved to intervene. The thing that's scary about that is all the other countries involved is us. We are, we're the buddy hanging out in the back waiting to see how it plays out. And the problem I see there is what this retired Navy commander has to say. So this guy, Kirk Lippold, he actually has a little bit of notoriety because he was the commander of the USS Cole. And the USS Cole, if you recall, was the first shot across the bow, almost literally, of the Al Qaeda in their efforts to damage U.S. interests all over the world. They were the first one to come out and blow up an American asset and kill American soldiers, sailors in this instance. And he basically said that in his mind, China is responding to the most recent meeting with the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. He said, "I wouldn't be surprised to see if Russia, China, and Iran were working in concert to try to create issues to spread the United States and our allies as thin as they can, both in the intelligence world, the military world, and diplomatically, trying to figure out who's doing what, where, when, and why. And they're trying to do so to cause as much destabilization of our ability to respond as possible." And we're seeing that. And I'll link the video up here in the top at the beginning of the video, but we're seeing that because a recent report came out which stated that we have 10 days worth of ammunition if we were to have to fight a war right now. 10 days total. Where if we don't get in and deliver a knockout punch immediately, we're literally out of ammunition. And I think that's a pretty massive problem. It's obvious they're working together. I mean, Iran is giving Russia drones. You've got China supporting Russia in terms of oil. You've got Russia giving, gaining some sanctions relief. Because we've hit them with crippling sanctions, yet somehow they're completely undeterred. And that's because China is buying all of this oil in order to fuel their war machine. So this Navy commander kind of goes on to say, hey, the U.S. Navy's doing a great job, and we're projecting strength by pushing U.S. Navy warships around Taiwan, but it's not enough. He goes on to say, it's clear we couldn't even fight one today. We couldn't even fight a war today because we don't have the ability to do any actual fighting. We can only hit hard, get in, get out, and stop because we don't have the ability for sustained effort, and that's what should be concerning the American people and our allies. Absolutely don't have the ability to fight a two-front war anymore. And I think he's absolutely right. I mean, you look at, in the show we did previously, it would take us 12 years at full capacity to bring our Javelin missile stockpile back up to 100%. That's a lot of time. And the thing is, the Javelin is the man-portable weapon to destroy a tank on the planet. And if I recall, it was 4 years for Stingers, and Stinger missiles are our best man-portable anti-aircraft missile. So you take two of our best components, couple that with a staggering lack of people wanting to be in the military right now. We're short pilots. How are we short fighter pilots? Like, this is America. Every red-blooded American boy should want to be a fighter pilot, and they should be lined up around the block. Man, make me 21 again? Shoot, sign me up. Get me in one of those F-22s. I am gone. Where is it? And that's the deal. We've talked about that too, that the military recruitment in 2022 fell on average about 25% across the board. So, how can we project strength when it's obvious we are in a militarily weak position? And the answer is we can't, which is why they're doing the things that they're doing and why they are provoking us, because they know we don't have the ability to actually do anything about it. So, I think the thing that we really have to do is formulate a better plan. Talk with our allies, because we do have some very strong allies. The British are a very strong ally. The Germans, I mean, they're Germans. They do what Germans do. And now we've got Finland, who's in NATO. And as a Finn myself, I would say that's a pretty good group to bring on. There's some pretty intense, hardcore people who bring some really interesting perspectives on modern warfare, especially fighting in cold conditions, which would come in super handy when you have to invade, I don't know, Russia. So I think there's that. And what we have to do is show that we're not just about talk. I think so far, in a lot of ways, what we do is we ask people to do stuff real nice. We say, hey, listen, giving them the cool guy, listen, bro, we don't really want to do this. If you force us to, we will, though, man. Like, hey, we'd really like to know where Corona came from. You don't have to, but we'd really like to know. And it's all this stuff like this where we want to put them in a position where they are deterred from ever being interested in attacking, because we show such strength that they become fully aware that we can bring a conventional fight that they cannot recover from. Because the thing is, we've got these assets like the B-2, like the B-21. These are, they're nuclear capable, great. Nobody wants to use nuclear weapons. I mean, it's a zero-sum game. At the end of using nuclear weapons, everyone loses. So what would be the point of ever wanting to bring one to bear? So let's just knock that out of the equation, out of the gate. That time has passed. So we've got these bombers that are virtually invisible to radar. You know what they'd be great for? Knocking out nuclear sites, making them unusable. You don't have to destroy the nuke. You just have to destroy the pen that it's in so that it can't be launched. Do they have submarines? 1,000,000%. Do we have anti-submarine warfare? 10,000,000%. That's one thing the Navy is great at, is hunting other submarines. And if you think we don't know where their submarines are because we have submarines tracking their submarines, might rethink it, because we definitely do. So that's the deal there. We have to show them that we're not playing around, and that in a conventional war, regardless of what you may think, the United States is not to be trifled with. And the way you do that is by taking an aircraft carrier battle group, park them right off the coast, send them right up into the South China Sea, and say, hey, these are international waters. You guys want to screw around out here and do dumb stuff? Here we are. You want to do dumb stuff? We're ready to do dumb stuff. Like, are you prepared to take on some F-35s and some F-18s and some Tomahawk missiles? If you are, we're ready to roll. And I guarantee you, they're not going to want to do that, because the thing is, they know we're battle tested. They're not. When was the last war China was in? Exactly. They were in a proxy war with us in Vietnam, proxy war with us in Korea in the 50s. I mean, in reality, they are as untested as the current Russian forces are. And I think that's why we're not seeing an actual movement by the Chinese on Taiwan, because they're looking at all this equipment the Russians have given them and all this technology the Russians have given them, and watching it founder and flounder and all the other F words in Ukraine. And they don't want to see their forces looked at the same way, because we know what we're capable of. We just got out of a 20-year war, and we've got a whole bunch of people with combat patches that have great military experience, combat-proven leaders who know what it means to get shot at. And they don't. Their structure isn't like ours. Russia's finding it out the hard way that not having non-commissioned officers, only having officers and privates, is a bad way to do business. Their rigid structure is killing them. And it's the same structure the Chinese employ. So I really think that if we can say, hey, don't mess with us. Come on, man. Like, you know how this game ends. And do it with the right tone and the right way to be respectful about it, and say, hey, let's not do this. Let's go get a beer and chill out. But who knows? I mean, we're not even sure. Joe Biden may not run for president again. He says he thinks he's going to, but who knows if he actually will or not. So we may not even know over the course of the next couple of years who's going to be in charge of our country. And is it going to be someone who can portray that strength and hit those high notes? I sure hope so, because it's really needed right now. And we need to be talking to the Russians and the Chinese. This cold shoulder stuff, it's got to go. It's not doing any good. They're getting away with what they want to do. They're losing the war, but at the same time, they don't seem to super care at the moment. So that's one of the biggest thing I want to talk about with you guys today is just this process that we've kind of hammered into a little bit. Now we've kind of drilled down to the finite of it. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate all the time you guys are spending checking out the videos and the cool stuff that you're telling me that you appreciate. So if you do appreciate it and you haven't had the opportunity to subscribe yet, down here in the bottom there's going to be a cool little helicopter. Yours truly. Go ahead and hit that button and throw the subscribe at it, and it makes me super excited to make more content for you guys. So do that and keep commenting and liking the videos, and I truly appreciate it. And I want you guys to have an awesome day.